Kevin, Eddie from the bank. I hate your business. I think you have a terrible company. I want my money back. I went to New York the next day, showed up at his office, sat down like an old mafia. Fuck you, baby. The story didn't end well. I mean, it took almost 2.5 to 3 years to really just unwind that company. Shut down. Gone. One of my best friend's dads that was an investor in my dad's company as well took me to lunch one day and was like, so when are you starting another loan business? Never. Are you crazy? Did you see what just happened? You lost all your money. It almost killed me. I'm never doing that again. And he smiled and he's like, you learned so much from that. You need to do it again. And I want to invest.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Disruptors, where millionaires are made. Today we have Kevin Werner with Renovo Financial. And Kevin flew in from Chicago to talk about how they're helping wholesalers get more qualified buyers by co-hosting live events with them. Now, guys, I'm on a mission to create millionaires, and the information on the show alone isn't enough to help you become a millionaire. In the next 5 to 7 years, if you'll take consistent action, you'll become one. And if you're already a millionaire, we want to recognize you here on this show. So scan that QR code on the screen so we can highlight you on the show. And if you're not there yet and you want a little bit of help, also scan that same QR code. We might be able to help you there as well. And before we jump in, if you want to learn how real entrepreneurs are building real empires, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because every week you can be taking away a lesson that can help you create your next or first million. And before we jump in, we do have our AI follow-up bot up and running now. So you might have 100,000, $250,000, maybe $1 million sitting there right in your CRM. If you want to check it out, text cash to the phone number 33777. Again, that's cash 33777. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we got a chance to talk a little bit before we started recording, and it's fascinating to hear your story because before you were lending, you were wholesaling.
I wholesaled for a while. Yes.
Yeah. So, I guess what was life like? I guess you were saying a couple decades ago.
Oh, you're going to age me now. Yes, a couple decades ago. I'm 48. So when I was younger, I learned the lending and real estate business actually from my dad. So my dad was my dad was a home improvement lender. So when I was in high school, I would hear my dad talking about making home improvement loans. And that's kind of what got me interested. I was like, oh, well, what does that mean? How does that work? And then I started working for my dad's company when I was in high school. I got on work program in high school, junior year. And what that meant at my high school is you can leave school at noon and go to work. Now, other guys that were on, or other people that were in the work training program were going to auto body shops or like McDonald's or whatever. I was jumping on the train and going downtown Chicago to my dad's lending office.
Got it.
And basically was an errand runner for anyone who needed anything. But I started to learn the loan business. I got fascinated. Started learning how to make loans. And at that time, it was kind of subprime days. So it was, you really were doing creative lending. And you have to learn a lot about how loans are made. Mm-hmm. And then one thing led to another. And I felt like after I learned a little bit of lending, I knew enough to be dangerous. And I turned to my childhood buddy, Tony, and I was like, hey, why don't we start buying and flipping houses? And he's like, yeah, it sounds good. Let's do it. So we were like 18. I was working at my dad's loan company, during the day. And then we would drive around Chicago looking for like flip opportunities. Mm-hmm. And we got pretty good at finding flip opportunities. So we would find flip opportunities, and we basically turned into a wholesaler. Mm-hmm. Because we were finding many more deals that we can do ourselves, or that we had the money to do ourselves. So we would just flip them. And in those days, this is before the internet. Mm-hmm. So in those days, we would put classified ads in the Chicago Tribune and in the Chicago Sun-Times that called out real estate investors, properties available, owner financing available, call today. Mm-hmm. Now, when I placed those ads, I didn't actually have any houses, but I wanted to get those phone calls. Mm-hmm. And then I'd be like, oh, yeah, we have plenty of houses. They're always coming and going. Tell me what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And they would, by the way, I was 18. And I was like, oh, you're looking for a house in that neighborhood and you want to do flips or a small apartment building. I would basically take their order, hang up the phone, and then me and Tony would go find what they're looking for and then fill that order. Was the way that we thought about it.
So it's fascinating to hear. You're doing two concepts that sounded newer, right? Like when I was getting the wholesaling, but it's been around for a while, driving for dollars and reverse wholesaling.
I would call it buying in reverse.
Yeah.
And this was in like, what year? Like 2000,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like even maybe a little before, 98, 99.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So it really hasn't changed that much. Like strategies that work today
Yeah.
were working very well back then.
Totally. Same thing.
Okay. So you were lending and then you started wholesaling. And
I was doing both. Yeah, I was doing
or
both.
flipping. And
Flipping, wholesaling, lending. All
so you were doing all three.
All three.
Daytime, lending.
Working at my dad's loan company during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started lending at my dad's loan company. We started lending to flippers because we were doing this wholesaling and we saw opportunities to be making loans.
Mm-hmm.
So actually at one point me and Tony were getting loans from banks a little bit at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And even back then, banks would make 1 or 2 loans to you at a time for a flip, and then they would freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have too many loans. Well, we had more opportunity than that.
Yeah, high risk.
So my dad overheard me talking about that, and he was like, well, if you want to borrow from the company to do a flip, why don't you just do that? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. He's like, yeah, you got to pay 20% interest and 10 points. Like
10 points?
10 points.
It's a family discount.
Family discount. No. Look, in that time frame, that was the cost of money in a non-bank environment. Like that was old school. We were a home improvement lender, really.
Yeah.
And the cost of our money that we were lending at was 20 and 10.
Yeah. So that sounds high, obviously.
Yeah, but I did the math back then. I really did the math, and I said, well, if I get a partner on this project, here's what I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
And it was cheaper to borrow the money at 20 and 10. Do a quick flip. We got in and out fast, 5 months. And it was great. It worked out. Me and my partner made money. My dad's loan company made money. And when we got in and we got out, actually, my dad said, that was one of the best loans we've ever made as a company. How many can you do like that? I thought, my whole mind went like, I'm thinking of the whole city now. All these houses we're going to start, just doing stuff with.
Became a millionaire instantly in your mind.
I thought I was. I spent like I was actually that time. I'll tell you that. But that actually, we started making fix and flip loans at my dad's home improvement lender. So we were making fix and flip loans early 2000s, which was way before this industry really existed. But anyway, being a wholesaler was a key part of it because that was a way to really learn the business and learn how to make deals.
How long were you wearing all three hats, wholesaler, flipper, and lender?
Probably 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
I don't remember exactly. 3 to 5 years.
Which one did you stop doing first?
Flip.
Okay. How'd you come to that decision?
I wasn't that good at it, to be honest. I think it was that. It was that. What I was really best at was building a team and recruiting, and I liked the lending side the most. I think it for whatever reason, I just was most attracted. Maybe it was in my blood from my dad. That we stopped flipping, and what I started doing is instead of flipping, we started lending to flippers more and more and more.
Right.
And I was like, okay, there's not enough time in the day, so maybe let's just build up this lending thing. And we were still wholesaling because it was a way to get property for our lending clients.
Yeah. Well, you get 2 bites at the apple.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the apple for sure.
And I think what's interesting, because again, before the show we were chatting, like for me, I was always thinking like, man, once I do really well in real estate, I can become a lender. Right. And you were saying like, well, you were lending. It's like, well, we should probably start doing flips. And it's, the grass is always greener.
It's always greener. I've had friends of mine over my whole career say, oh, you're a lender. I want to be a lender. I'm like, well, you're a developer. I want to be a developer. Do what you love, right? I mean, you're going to probably love one of them more than the other. Maybe you're better at it.
Yeah. So wholesaling, funding, which is a very lucrative model. I mean, I know people still today that do that, and some that even have a title company as well too. So like, get 3 bites at that apple. So you're doing well. You're wholesaling and you're lending. What does that turn into?
It turned into pretty quickly a very busy lending operation in Chicago. So my dad got out of the business, my older brother and I and other friends and family started to kind of run the lending business. And my dad had spent over 20 years making very small home improvement loans. We started making larger fix and flip loans to flippers. And this was in 2004, 5, 6, and 7, primarily.
So I wasn't even thinking clearly. So home improvement legitimately meant like you were just lending to the person that just wanted to improve their house. There was no like flipping component.
Correct.
It was just...
Yeah, my dad was making loans for kitchens, bathrooms, a garage. That was his business.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't for a buyer. It was just for the homeowner.
Correct.
Got it. I missed that detail. I misunderstood that.
Yep.
Okay. So so you start lending more 04 through 07. Did you, for all intents and purposes, you and your brother take over the family business?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
And then it leads to 07.
Yeah. Beginning of the end of that.
Which begins a scary time.
It was a scary time. So, 4, 5, and 6, we built an awesome business, a Chicago-based lender that was focused on fix and flippers in the Chicagoland area. And we were very busy. Things were going great. And then 07 started to kind of happen. Yeah. And we felt it pretty early on. I mean, we saw delinquency starting to spike. We had lines of credit from Wall Street at the time, and they were calling us saying, hey, things are getting weird. Now, up to that point, we figured, well, no matter what happens, we'll figure it out. We'll just grind through.
Hustle.
We'll just hustle our way through this. That's how everything has worked so far in life, and we'll just continue to do that. But up to that point, you and I talked about this a minute ago. So up to that point, I never had a bank go bankrupt on me as a lender. Have you? As a borrower? Has your lender ever went bankrupt?
No, not because I don't do a lot of flips. So,
well, what I'm saying is, in general, if you're a business owner and you're borrowing from your bank, and your bank is a key part of your business,
if we got a relationship, then no, they don't.
And that bank goes bankrupt in almost a day.
Yeah.
So what happened to us is we were a lender, and we were borrowing from one big Wall Street bank, was lending to us, and we used that money partially to make our loans.
Yeah.
And when 07, 08 happened and things started to get shaky, that we were working with that lender to make some maybe adjustments to our line and do things. All of a sudden, I got a call one morning. Kevin, we've all been fired. I'm like, what do you mean you've all been fired? I'm like, who? He goes, everybody. He's like, the whole building has been let go. Like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, what happens with our loan? He's like, I have no idea. So for like a month, we had no idea who our lender was was. And I'm staring out at our team out of my office like, oh my God, this is going to get ugly.
Sounds like your sole access to capital.
Yes.
So you don't have like a second or third. It's like.
It was yes. And here's the thing I learned at that time. First of all, when the winds change, whatever you have, when that wind changes what you have, you can't go get different capital. Because all of a sudden, when the downturn hits, no one takes your phone call. I don't care who you are. No one's taking your phone call.
Yeah.
The other thing I learned, and this is what you and I talked about earlier, I thought I was a real genius because my dad had a line of credit from a different bank that was a relationship bank that we were with for years and years and years and years that I also had a relationship with. And they were a little expensive, but they were a relationship bank. I thought when we took over the company that we should replace them. And I was determined to replace them. So I hired a broker. We went out and we pitched Wall Street banks, and we got term sheets, and we beat up every lender. We negotiated down the cheapest rate, and we got the highest LTC, the highest advance rate, right? We negotiated. They closed the deal in a year before 07 happened. Thought I was a genius. 07 starts to happen. I get a call when they're all fired, and I call the broker, and I'm like, hey, I think I'm in trouble. He goes, oh, not only are you in trouble, you're screwed. I'm like, why am I screwed? He goes, remember how hard you negotiated with them? I go, yeah. He goes, you're the first one they're going to come after. I go, you got to be kidding me. He's like, oh, yeah. You're the last one they're going to deal with now. Like, they're not going to cut a deal with you because you literally over-negotiated everything. And now you're a low-rate, high-risk loan. And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing.
So this is when they're saying they're going to come after you last.
First, they're going to deal with, when I say deal with you, meaning they're not going to cut a deal with you now. They're not going to be friendly to you. You are
I
going to
see.
get the worst side of this bank now.
I see. Yeah, you're gonna get the least friendly.
You're going to get the least friendly. You weren't friendly,
Yeah,
and you cut too good of a deal.
right.
And you negotiated the rate down to virtually nothing,
Mhm.
and you pushed their advance rate really high.
Mhm.
So you have them in a spot now. What you do to a lender when you do that is when the market uncertainty sets in, when 07, 08 or COVID or something starts to happen, lenders freak out.
Yeah.
And where are they going to put that freak out? They're going to look at their most risky structured loans,
Mhm.
which typically are highest advance rate, lowest rate loans.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that was a thing. Like I remember this was 25 years ago. I remember the curbside street corner I was sitting on when I talked to my broker, and he told me that because it was like getting hit in the head with a baseball. I was like, oh yeah, man, I bet you if I would have stayed with my original lender that was a little more expensive. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to, be advocating pay more to your lender.
Mhm.
I'm advocating, you know what? Don't try to get every last nickel, because when you do, people tend to remember,
Oh yeah.
and they want every last nickel.
Mhm. Well, that whole adage, right? Like people forget what you say, but they remember how you made them feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
So, so they dealt with you first. So, did they call all your loans?
Well, here's what happened. So we owed them like $60 million at the
Okay.
time. Okay, at the time that was a lot of money. And for weeks we didn't know where our loan was because no one answered the phone.
Right. So, like, you don't even know who the servicing company is,
No idea.
right? So, even
30 employees sitting outside the window, payroll's coming up. We have no ability to fund any of this stuff because
so you can even fund your own payroll this time.
I mean, you could a little bit, but like if you can't access your main line of credit as a bank, if you're running a lending business, typically you have one or two main warehouse facilities. If you
Right.
can't access that overnight, and you haven't planned for that properly, if you haven't planned for the chance that you can't access it, you are really in trouble.
Right.
And that is what happened. So about 2 weeks go by, I finally get a call from a guy named Eddie. Okay. And he's an older man. Eddie calls me. Kevin, Eddie from the bank.
That's it from the bank.
Well, I'm not going to say the name of the bank.
Okay, got it.
I'm trying to be respectful.
Okay.
I hate your business. That was the first thing you said. I'm like, oh, here we go. I think you have a terrible company. I want my money back. This is what he said. I want my money back. I go, no, Eddie, you don't understand. We've been in business 30 years, and we're great, and we're nice people. This is going to be fine. No, Kevin, you don't understand. I want my money back tomorrow, and I don't like your business. I don't want to hear anything. I want my money back
Tomorrow. Sounds like a hostage situation.
now. Yeah. So I said, Eddie, I'm going to come to see you. Where are you? He goes, no. I don't want to see you. I go, Eddie, coming to see you. Tell me where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out where he was at. He didn't want me to come. I went to New York the next day, showed up at his office, sat down. He was just as mean with me in person. Never got him to crack at all. It was just, like an old mafia movie. Fuck you, pay me.
Mhm.
It basically was the whole mantra. Yeah. The story didn't end well. I mean, it took almost 2.5 to 3 years to really just unwind that company. So what happened was my brother, myself, other family members, and team members and friends that were working there. I mean, we basically unwound this company from like 2008 to 2010.
Your dad's business.
Yes.
So that one eventually
Shut down. Gone. 30
Got it.
years. Yeah.
Were you able to make the other guy whole, this bank?
Great question. So it's been so long, I don't remember the exact numbers. I mean, we had 1,000 loans open maybe at that time. So for years we would work on okay, how are we going to let's organize these loans. Who's quickest same thing the bank did to me. Who can I get money from the hardest? Who's going to take a while? Who treated us nicely? Who didn't treat us nicely? I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what you do. I mean, who are our friends? Who are not our friends? It's what you do. And you just start kind of thinking about how to get that money back, right? I mean, the same thing the bank was going through. The bank was in trouble. They were trying to get their money back from us. We were in trouble. I was trying to get money back from our borrowers.
Right.
Same thing. So we worked down from about 60 to like a couple $1 million. Okay. And once we got them down to a couple $1,000,000, they were even harder to deal with. And we had a couple hundred houses at the time. I remember it got down to like, owed them a couple $1,000,000 and had a couple hundred houses that were available. And they were even harder. They're like, they wanted to shut us down. They basically just wanted us to give them the keys.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't quitters. We're like, no, like we're going to build back this business. Like there's no giving you anything back. And so actually for one summer, I just told the whole staff, go home. And I went home and I didn't do it. I didn't answer the phone. I laid at the pool. I was living in an apartment building in downtown Chicago at the time. And I remember I spent a lot of the summer laying at the pool. And I'm saying that for a reason. Because one day I look at my phone, I'm getting a phone call from someone at the bank, this woman whose name's Mary. I remember her. I had a good relationship with Mary. Mary calls me, Kevin, what's going on? I go, I'm laying at the pool. I go, what are you doing? Wow, what do you mean you're laying at the pool? I go, you guys have been you basically shut us off and you're trying to play hardball. So I sent everyone home. I'm at the pool. Well, how are we going to resolve this? I go, I don't know. I'm going to keep laying out. You do whatever you want to do. I'm doing what I want to do, and we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we ended up doing what's called it's an out-of-court bankruptcy. We basically did an assignment for the benefit of creditors, it's called, where basically you hand over the assets to a third party, and you let that third party. It's an out-of-court bankruptcy. You let the third party decide how to figure it out, because the bank didn't want to deal with us anymore, and we didn't want to deal with.
It's kind of like a receivership.
It's kind of like a receivership. That's a good way to put it.
So my question here, like, there's something you see it online, right? Like Instagram, whatever, or Twitter. It's that if there's a problem with, like, if you owe the bank $1 million, it's your problem. If you owe them like $60 million, it's their problem.
I love that you're bringing that up. It's not that simple. It depends. It depends what leverage you have or don't have.
Yeah.
Right. And it also depends who truly cares less.
Like every negotiation.
Exactly, right? I mean, it really depends, right? Like, it depends. Do you have other assets? Do you have enough to make it through? How hard ball can you play? You can't forget that a bank probably has more money than you. And at the end of the day, they probably can win.
They have better lawyers.
Not only, yes, they have better lawyers, but you're also dealing with people that just work at the bank. They're not sweating at night, right? Like me and you as the entrepreneur who's like, you're like, I was going to bed. I dropped like 25 pounds. Like for me is a lot. Like I was so stressed for probably 2 years that like every night I'm sweating through my clothes. Like it was terrible. The people at the bank weren't doing. What do they care if it went on for a decade, right? They don't care.
They just hate you. Like they're not losing sleep.
They didn't hate me. They just wanted their money back, right? To me, I was a number, right? They're like, look, he's a number. We need to get this money back because we owe this money over here and we got to figure it out.
So the lesson you learned from all this, dealing with beating this bank down and having only one.
They beat me down pretty good.
And only have one source to capital.
I learned a bunch of lessons, like a lot. It's, I would say if I was to summarize a couple key lessons, is, number one, lending is a relationship. Right now in the market today, 2025, I know it feels like a commodity. It feels like, oh, there's always money. Just it's a commodity. Well, those times 100% change. They're not always like that. And relationships do matter at the end of the day. So that's what I learned, at least for me and my, the way we try to build our business today. And don't try to take every nickel and dime off. Yeah. Like and the reason you want to leave a little bit of room in, because like you may need a favor, favors are needed. And if you took every last nickel, like I always say this to barbers, like, you want me to answer your call on the weekend, by the way? Don't take every last nickel off the table, because I'm not answering your call on Saturday now. Fine.
Yeah. So we're in Phoenix, right? You're here for also the IMN event.
Yeah.
So I have people that come here all the time. Actually, I've had conversations with James about this. People come out to Phoenix. Like, hey, we're going to start private money lending or hard money lending. And the same thing I always tell them was like, good luck, right? Because this is a very commoditized lending city, right? Like, whereas in many parts of the country, it's 2 and 12, 2 points, 12%, right? And then like 10% down, 15, 20%, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And out here, it's just like, it's a doc fee, right? It's a doc fee and 10%. It's insane out here. And I remember when COVID started, right? And we're in Arizona. So again, COVID, it lasted like 2 weeks here, right?
Didn't happen here, really.
Yeah. But when it did, like all the lending tightened. So that was like, man, those relationships are really handy. And so fortunately, I did have relationships. But that part about like, we'll do 90% at 10% interest and a $9.97 doc fee, that was gone.
Oh, okay.
Just for a few weeks, right? Again,
Sure.
For COVID in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Just for a few weeks. But like all these things relied, like it was a commodity.
Yep.
Until it wasn't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest takeaways is lending is not a commodity. It's also, relationships matter. Thinking long-term matters. Being prudent with your finances really does matter. All those kind of things. And thinking long-term, making long-term plans, really matter.
Did you get really comfortable having access to a warehouse line as far as your finances?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like
get overly
payroll.
comfortable?
Like, did you have like, for example, if you were to go to, I don't know who the business version of Dave Ramsey is, right? But there's like 6 months. I'm sorry, Marcus Krigler, right? 6 months reserves.
Yep.
Right, 6 months reserves or $1 million cash in the bank at all times.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I believe in that for sure. Yes.
Were you that guy in 07?
Yeah, I think we were, but probably not enough. We did rely on, hey, we could just use our warehouse lines, because we had availability on our warehouse.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because you have access to capital, were you as prudent with?
Not as much. We were pretty prudent, but not like I've grown to become as I've gotten older. Because cash in the bank is really the only for sure thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, even in 07, 08, that became questionable. So when COVID hit, because of what I went through during 07 and 08, I was in a meeting at Renovo in our office one day in Chicago, and COVID was really setting in. And I remember we had clients in the conference room, and we were having a meeting about what was happening. Mm-hmm. And our CFO came in, and I signed a bunch of paperwork, and the guys were like, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm moving all of our money around." They're like, "What do you mean you're moving it around?" I'm like, "I'm not having more than a few million in any bank right now."
Yeah.
They're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, I don't know. If 08 happens again, like, I don't want to get caught. Like, even though you can money at a bank, if your bank shuts down, not that you're not going to get it, but maybe not for a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, it's insured, so hopefully it's covered.
It is, but
how long will it take?
How long will it take? And what if you have to pay your bills and do things? And
yeah.
So they thought that was kind of interesting.
I mean, just my own little deal. I remember not COVID, but like when interest rates hiked in 22, everyone was freaking out. I was like, it's going to be fine, right? Like there's so little inventory, like it's going to be fine. The demand is higher than supply, right? Yeah. That was my mindset. It's like, we're not changing anything. We're going to keep going strong, right? And then we get a lead in Buckeye. So for context, Buckeye is well outside, right, Phoenix Metro.
Okay.
And so they're like, oh, well, we got this opportunity in Buckeye. I was like, well, hang on. When I said like nothing changes, I mean in Phoenix. Because I was around in 07, 08, 09 when the market started getting interesting. If you were outside the metro, those outskirts got crushed.
Oh, yeah. Those numbers just dropped through the floor, right?
Yeah.
$200,000 house is all of a sudden 30.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Right. Okay. So now you're done with this bank. You've settled.
So the family business shut down officially in May of 2010.
Yeah.
So in May of 2010, I remember walking out of the courthouse, handed it off to the receiver. We were done at that point.
Where did you go from there?
If you're a real estate investor with a sales team and you're stuck babysitting reps instead of growing your business, this is for you. Right now, your reps are burning through your expensive leads like they're practice dummies. They're making costly mistakes you won't catch for weeks, and 70% of your potential revenue is walking to competitors because of inconsistent follow-up. That's why over 130 operators are now using objectionproof.ai to automatically review every single call within minutes, train reps with AI roleplay sessions, and never miss another follow-up. Stop watching your competitors pull ahead while you're trapped doing manager work. Click the link in the description and book a call with my team to see how we can help you install a self-managing sales team this week.
I went home and just cried for a while. Dusted off a little bit and started flipping again. Started wholesaling a bit.
Great time to be doing that.
It was an amazing time. My mom's a realtor, so we would I remember sitting with my mom, looking on the MLS, and you just see hundreds of pages of houses at prices you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing family members at the time, because I was like, I'm going to buy everything. Like whatever I can buy right now, I'm going to figure out a way to buy it. And family members were like, you're crazy. Real estate's never coming back. It's never. Even I was pretty young. I'm like, it's coming back. Like you can't say it's never coming back. So started flipping houses, started wholesaling. And then thank goodness it was a family friend, one of my best friend's dads that was an investor in my dad's company as well, took me to lunch one day and was like, so when are you starting another loan business? I was like, never. Are you crazy? Did you see what just happened? You lost all your money. It almost killed me. I'm never doing that again. And he smiled and he's like, you learned so much from that. You need to do it again. And I want to invest in it. I was like,
not only did he push you, he was like, I want to back you.
He's like, I'm like, you got to be crazy. He goes, no, I'm serious. Like, look, I'll help you. He's like, I'll sit with you. We'll do it. I'll help you write the business plan. I'm like, so I remember going home that night and that was like, I still wasn't thinking yes. But then after a few days, I started remembering the things I loved about being in the lending business. And it was a lot. So I went back to him and I was like, I think you're right. I want to build, I want to do it. And because it was different working, I basically, worked at my dad's lending business. I ran it for a while with my brother and other family members. And, but I didn't start it. Right. Mm-hmm. And there's a difference. And I kind of started to get this itch. I'm like, wow, I would like to see if I can do this. And so at the time, it was 2010. You had time on your hands because the market was such shambles that, and there was no real market necessarily, meaning there was no private money market at the time. It was very quiet. Not a lot was going on. So I wrote a business plan about starting a rehab lending company. And my friend's dad, Rick is his name, also was very smart. And he said, look, I'm going to tell you something. If you can't get an institutional investor to back you in this, you also probably shouldn't do it.
Same friend or different friend?
Same friend. He's like, I'm going to invest, but if you can't get like a big institution to do it with us, you probably shouldn't do it. Because what I did learn after going through the downturn, my dad had a lot of his friends and family's money tied up in that business. Mm-hmm. It was basically a hard money lender funded with friends and family. Like a lot of people, when they start private money shops, they do a loan fund and they raise a lot of money for friends and family. Right. That was what my dad did. That's what we did. That gets stressful. Having hundreds and hundreds of investors that you have 50 grand, 100 grand, 300 grand, whatever it is from all these investors. He said to me, look, if you're going to start something new, see if you can get an institutional investor to back you day one. If you could, definitely go that route. If you can't, I don't know if you should do this. Mm-hmm. So I wrote a business plan. Then in my journal, I made a list of every institutional, private equity investor or anyone I ever met in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. That's where I kind of wanted to start the company. So I went and took private equity guys to breakfast, lunch, dinner. I made this deck about, this company I wanted to start. And it was in November and December of 2010. A lot of them took lunch meetings with me, but I would say 8 out of 10 almost laughed me out of lunch. Mm-hmm. They're like, wait, let me get this straight. Your dad's company just basically bankrupted. Right. We're in the middle of a financial crisis. You want to start a lending business. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. No, we're not interested. It's
cute.
And at the time, you know what Groupon is? Remember Groupon? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So at the time, Groupon started in Chicago. It was everything in Chicago. So every young person in Chicago wanted to go work at Groupon. So
really?
Every young person in Chicago wanted to work at Groupon. So all the people I was pitching on this actually were saying to me, why don't you just go get a job at Groupon? You can be a sales manager at Groupon. You could do great. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So, after enough meetings, I finally started to get some traction. Mm-hmm. And to speed up the story, I cut a deal with a small PE shop in Chicago named Granite Creek Partners. And we cut a deal. And we started Renovo from scratch in 2011. That's how we got started.
You, no more family involved in this?
Correct. Yeah. No.
Got it. Okay. So then what were those beginnings like?
Hard. Made no money for many, many years. I wasn't married at the time, but I was with my wife, my now wife, and we moved into a small apartment. we lived on very little. I was doing wholesaling, and I was also doing transactional funding.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they still do that today? People do
They
that?
still
at all?
do it. Yeah.
Okay. So at the time, I was doing because I was in
Well, elaborate with transactional funding for everyone that doesn't know.
if a wholesaler needs to close and buy and sell the same day, basically make a 1-day loan.
Yeah, it's a simultaneous close, more or less.
Simultaneous close.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of money, not much, a little bit, but I knew the lending business. So I basically set up a little side hustle of making transactional loans. So as I was, sitting, getting Renovo going on the side, I'm like literally closing 1-day loans and did enough of them a month to try to like pay my rent and other stuff. But we had a vision for what we wanted to build. We wanted to build a great culture, a great team, and great customer service, and build a company for the long haul. That was our dream. How do we partner? How do we be a good capital partner to real estate investors and work with them and do it locally? Really do it locally, understand their business, and be a great capital partner and build a business around it for the long haul. Yeah. And that was 15 years ago. But the first couple of years were really hard. So Daniel Rosen, co-founder with me, we started the company together. In order for us to make money at that time, you know what extension fees are on loans?
Yeah, the 6-month fee that every time comes up, I was like, why am I paying this 6-month fee?
Well, at that time, yeah. The only way me and Daniel, sometimes we needed money, so we would go collect extension fees.
Yeah.
And I would like, hey, Daniel, those 3 loans owe us extension fees. You got to go get a check. We would go get a check from the borrower, deposit it at the bank, so me and Daniel can at least get paid a little something for those weeks. So the beginning was hard. For the first 5 years of the business, when we started, we set a goal. Our goal was to get to $100 million of loans at one time. That was the goal. And it was big when we set that goal. Yeah. It took us about 6 years to get there, to get to 100 million.
In 1 year or in total?
Total.
Got it.
Took us 6 years to get there. Now, I will say it happened simultaneously with starting to do 100 million a year. So let's now pivot to 100 million a year. So basically, it took us 6 years to get to $100 million a year.
Yeah.
Well, once we got close, at that time we had, 15 employees. We had a team. We had a culture beginning. We had a little business that was starting. And we got together and we said, now we have to set another goal, okay? Because we hit our goal. We're going to do $1 billion. And that was like people's mind. We're like, Kevin, what do you mean $1 billion? Even our capital partners were like, hey, why do you say numbers like that? You're not going to, there's no way you could do $1 billion in a year. It was like, we're going to do $1 billion in a year.
Yeah.
And we set that goal. We got very focused. Took us 5 more years. And we got there. We hit $1 billion in a year.
Yeah. What would you say is instrumental to go from 100 million a year to $1 billion a year? Because that's literally 10x. And it's not even like 10x of a small number, right? It's not like going from like 2 deals to 20 deals in a year. This is $100 million in volume to $1 billion in volume.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're growing at least 20% a year over the course of 5 years.
Yes, more.
Yeah.
I would say it took, in the beginning, you need when you're building a company, I think you as a leader need to be different at different phases of the business. In the beginning, we had to have a lot of patience. And we had to work on systems and process and loan documents and technology and things that take this was 15 years ago, so things took longer. And it took a long time. I think it was hard for me to adapt. You do have to kind of adapt into more of a growth person at some point where you're, okay, the foundation is built. Now we have to grow. I think it all starts at the top. And I don't mean to say me at the top, but I think leadership really matters. So it took years for me to be able to get the mindset of growth.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like I'd be in board meetings and my investors would be like, Kevin, grow more, like grow. And I'm like, we're trying, we're working, we're putting things together. I think the biggest shift, we always thought that in order to grow outside Chicago, that we would have to buy other companies in other locations.
Yeah.
We thought that was what we had to do.
It's a reasonable thought.
Yeah, because we believed in being local. We really believed that we didn't want to have like a one office somewhere and lend all over the country from one office. We didn't really believe in that model. model. It wasn't who we were. Who we were is we want to know our customers, we want to go to property with our borrower and see the property with them. So we're like, all right, we have to buy companies in other locations. So for years, I would jump on planes. I would go meet other small lenders in other locations and try to cut deals and try to acquire somebody in Austin, Texas, in New Jersey, in Philadelphia, in Boston. I'm saying those names on purpose because those were lenders in those cities that we would go and spend and waste so much time whining and dining and talking and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, years went by. None of those deals worked out.
Why?
I think because they weren't meant to. Honestly, in retrospect, I think we tried. We made offers. We had term sheets. We got left at the altar a couple times where we finalized everything, and then the company that we were trying to buy was like, never mind, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So finally, we got so frustrated. We're like, all right, you know what? Screw this. Like, we're going to pay, almost $10 million for this company. Let's take millions of dollars. Let's just go out there and start finding the right people, the right teams. Let's rent some office space and let's start building. Let's start building from the ground up. When that shifted for us is when we started to grow a lot more. So that helped us go, from 200 million a year to $1 billion a year, fairly quickly. That was big.
So finding
teams,
the right players, more or less.
The right players
in
having
the different markets.
Yes. Well, also, let me say this. Also, the key thing is we talked about building a solid business and having the capital for that. We had a very large investment we took in 2015 that was $100 million that we took. That investment was due back there was an opportunity for that company to demand their money back in 2020. We knew after what we went through in 2008, there's no way we're going to be within a year of that maturity. No way. So 18 months earlier, we started working on getting that out. Thank God we did, because we ended up recapitalizing and brought in a whole bunch of money and cleaned up the balance sheet in November of 2019. So think of that timing. But in November of 2019, we raised a bunch of new money. We cleaned up the balance sheet. We got rid of that debt that was owed. And we were sitting there in great shape when March of 2020 happened.
Yeah.
COVID. And that was a key opportunity for us because when COVID hit, a lot of lenders, really hit the skids. It was tough.
Froze.
Everyone froze, laid off their staff. It was ugly, right?
How much did you have a note due?
Pardon?
How much you said was due in 2020?
$100 million.
$100 million.
Yeah.
Due to one investor.
Yes.
Very well-off investor.
Yes, very well-off investor. But that was I knew that I didn't want to owe that guy $100 million because asking for an extension was not going to go well.
Yeah.
Okay. At all. So it was like, there's no way we're going to get within 1 year of an extension. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because the problem is if you wait, if you're like, oh, we have time, it only takes 6 months to deal with it. God forbid a COVID hits or a rate hike hits like 2022 or anything. Crazy shit happens, right?
Right.
If you wait and that thing happens, you are SOL.
Well, it's that movie you did before with your dad's business. Yeah. Or was that wisdom that your dad's friend was pointing out? The reason why you should do it again is because you were to learn those lessons.
Hey, that's a nice compliment. Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think.
Whereas if you hadn't learned that lesson before,
I would have learned it with way bigger dollars.
Yeah.
Would have learned it but you're going to learn it one way or the other, right? So luckily learned some of it young.
So you've done $10 billion, right, in volume.
We've now funded, about over $10 billion.
A lot of freaking money.
A lot of loans. Yeah.
And you said you restarted in 2010?
Yes. We made our first loan in September of 2011.
All right, so 2011. So in the last 14 years,
yeah,
10 billion. And then like this year, it's like 4 of that.
Yeah, this year we're going to do nearly 4. Yep.
Which is a remarkable number. Why do people go to you? Right? I know James from multiple masterminds. He won't leave me alone. He harasses me. Right?
I don't think that's true, but okay.
But you're not the only game in town. right? Like
No, not
every mastermind I'm in,
a lot of great lenders out there.
2, 3, 4 lending organizations there.
Yeah.
What is it that has been the key to success for you guys?
I think what's been successful for us is, first of all, staying really true to who we really are. And what that means is, first of all, we're local. We obsess about customer service. We obsess about relationships. And we've taken the time to build a company that could do what we say.
Yeah.
It's really key, right? Like, and I don't think anyone should take that lightly. Like, we work really, really hard that out of our 35 local offices, right, that are located in major U.S. cities, when our teams are meeting with one of our clients and we walk a project and we say we're going to do the project, we've built all the back office and the wherewithal to be able to do it. So when we issue a term sheet, so we think about issuing LOI, we call them LOIs, letters of intent. Every week, we're trying to issue about 200 to 220 LOIs every week. That's at Renovo. That's our
KPI.
Yeah, key KPI. When we issue those, we have to honor them, more or less, right? Like, our reputation is on the line every day. So that's hard to do. But I think our clients would say that we do it. And the other thing that's a little unique about us is we've built our own in-house servicing business. So Renovo has an in-house servicing business that is, I think, best in class. Yeah. So because customer service is so important to us, we didn't want to be one of those shops that originates your loan and then ships your loan for servicing somewhere else, and then you have to call that other company to get your payoff or your payment or whatever. So we've built Renovo loan servicing in-house. We're servicing 20,000 loans right now. So we have $10 billion outstanding in loans, 75-person team. But I think I was at dinner last night with some of our clients here at the conference, and without even asking, they were explaining how much they really like that when they get a loan from Renovo, that it's serviced at the same place. Yeah. That really kind of resonates.
Why is service so important? I mean, we should all appreciate service, especially kind of it seems like these days. Service is kind of be lacking for most organizations these days. But what is it about service that's so important to you?
I think it's just old school business. Honestly, I don't think it's. First of all, I enjoy good service, right? If I go somewhere and I get a smile and they take care of what I need taken care of, it just makes me feel better. I'm willing to pay for that, right? I'm willing to be like, hey, convenience and taking care of stuff that I need done is very important to me. I think. I don't know. I always gravitated toward companies that have really good customer service. I think it's proven that they are longer lasting. They make money. Yeah. Their employees are happy. I think it's a more sustainable business model, for the long haul.
I mean, for sure, I am one of those people that I'm willing to pay a premium for good service. And there's nothing that drives me more crazy. Like, I make decisions, I blacklist companies all the time. Never go in here again.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Just never go in here again.
Yeah.
Actually, we're talking about lending and term sheets and we're doing this loan. For me, it's been a couple years. It's been a year since I did my last deal. But I remember dealing with a major organization, large organization, competitor of yours, and everything was fine. Everything's fine. And 2 days before close, hey, where are we? He's like, oh, well, we need this. Oh, hey, there's this. It's this homeowner, I made a promise to them.
Totally, yes.
I told them they would get their money on this day. We were going to close on this date. They'd have their money that evening or the next day. You are making me look like a jerk.
Totally.
This is a problem.
Yes.
Right. So I appreciate
and here's how thank you for sharing that. I mean, and here's how we, here's how we kind of, how do I say this? Here's how we try to execute that. Have you ever heard of Net Promoter Scores?
Yes.
Okay. So it's probably been 8 years now that we've had Net Promoter Scores as part of our DNA at Renovo. So what that means is in our system, in our tech, if you borrow from Renovo, when you close the loan, you're going to get a little thing to your phone to ask for feedback and give us a response. When you're through the construction and when you're exiting, we're going to ask you for that feedback. Our whole team is very incented, not on the score, but on response rate. So we want people to give us a response. We want to hear how we're doing. It's like at the restaurant when the manager walks around and says, "How are you doing? You need anything? You need you need anything?" That's our version of that. You need anything? We get NPS results all day, every day coming in. You know what we do? They get emailed to everybody at Renovo all day. I mean, hundreds. So the transparency. Now, when we were smaller, it was 1 a day. 3 a day. But here's what would happen. I watch those. Everyone watch. The whole company gets these things. Imagine the culture you create when all day, every day, every employee knows that they're on the spotlight. Because if you gave bad service to Susie, one of our customers, and she does an NPS result and says, Steve didn't answer my phone call. Steve took 2 days to get back to me for my payoff. I didn't like that. And hit submit. That gets sent to everyone at Renovo. Can you imagine the power of that?
Yeah.
Many, many, many times I'll be home on a Saturday night. I just happen to be checking my emails. And I remember one time a guy just reamed us out on the NPS. He just tore us to shreds. And I'm like, so I called him, right? I didn't know this guy. I just called him from my phone. He answers, hello. I'm like, this is Kevin. I'm at Renovo. I didn't say who I am, whatever. I'm like, listen, I just saw your result. He goes, yeah, I just submitted that a minute ago. I'm like, I know. Tell me more. What happened? He tells me what happened. I go, man, I'm so sorry. Look, we're going to refund that fee. That fee, we're going to refund you on Monday. Where do you live? Let me send you a restaurant, gift card to a restaurant down the street. He was pissed off. There was something that happened at the closing that cost him like $400 extra. I'm like, we're refunding you the money, and I'm going to send you to a restaurant. I'm going to send you like a $250 gift card to a restaurant down the street. He's like, are you serious? He's like, I love you guys. I'm like, we just went from someone that hated us to now, at least hopefully, I'm not going to say loves us, but maybe one day they'll love us, right? If
we'll probably use you again.
At least give us another chance, right? I can't tell you.
On the blacklist.
But even today, Steve, like this week, earlier this week, some borrower in Michigan, I don't know who they are, somehow got my email address and CC'd me on an email. She was pissed off that something was miscommunicated in her deal about the appraisal. The appraisal was ordered. It wasn't ordered right. Value came in wrong, and it messed up her deal, and she was upset about it, and she emailed like a lot of us at Renovo. And what would a normal company do?
Take it very serious.
It depends. I don't think a normal company would respond, to be honest. I think most companies would never respond. We called the borrower and said, thank you for the feedback. Really appreciate it. We're going to refund your appraisal fee. So sorry that happened, and understand that you're mad. But do what we can to make it right. Right? Like quickly, like jump on it, do what we can to make it right.
Well, what I love about your model is that you're incentivized to get NPS scores. You're not incentivized to get a high NPS score, which is what kind of like
a car wash would do.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I mean, I remember like going to Acura. Hey, can you make sure you give a 5-star?
Yeah, we don't want that. Can you just make sure you give us a response? Because response rate is what we want.
Right. So I like that. It's a different angle. The other one, and this is going to sound terrible, right? But like, I love good service. We had a situation. I was at an event in Los Angeles, and I touched down. My wife's like, hey, it'd be great if I could stop by the hotel and, freshen up. I said, hey, check-in's at 4. Let me call the hotel. Like, hey, no promises, but like, do you think, is it possible for us to get something? And she's like, I know the cleaning service is in there right now. So in 30 minutes, maybe it'll be available. Okay, fair. I'm going to get something to eat. Come by. It's like, hey, is it ready? And she said, well, it's clean, but we need we need the manager to walk it for safety reasons. I was like, okay, like where's the manager at? And this is the middle of the World Series. So they're watching like the Dodgers in the World Series, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, can we get the manager to walk it? Like, I'm going to an event. My wife would like to freshen up. And instead of the manager going to walk the room so we can check in, I get this other guy that's wearing a Dodgers jersey, right? It's like, okay, casual here. It's a nice hotel, right? On the water. Kind of casual, but I get it. You're in the World Series, right? And he's like, and his attitude was very different than the other lady who was trying to be helpful. He was just rude. And so for me, I was like, I guess that's the manager, right? He's like, no, it's not going to be in. Your check-in's at 4. It's not going to be ready till 4. It's like, okay, that was weird. It's in a huge about face. I understand that's part, like that's part of the rules, but fine, whatever. So I left. Well, my wife went to go change in the bathroom, did whatever. On the way out, I was asked the nice lady, hey, like, is that your manager? She said, no, that's actually my colleague. Like, he's the other front desk person. I was like, that was kind of weird. So on the way out, I was like, hey, can you do me a favor? Like, when you see the manager, can you let her know that guy that wore the dirty Dodgers jersey, he sucks ass. That's what I said to her. That's what I said to her, right? Like, just let her know. That's how I feel. She said, okay, I'll let her know. So we go to the event, come back that night, and we do the check-in thing, right? And you get a survey, text message. How are you enjoying the stay? I go back in there, very disappointed with the check-in process. Leave the next day, never once reached out to.
Still. See, that's crazy. Because at Renovo, so if you do an NPS thing to us and you score us an 8 or below,
yeah,
it's 1 through 10.
What sucks ass?
What's that?
Is that 1?
1 sucks ass, yeah. Yes. 8 or below. If you score us an 8 or below, a manager is going to call you within 1 hour.
Yeah.
There's no way. 1 hour. We all see it. And we have managers all lined up that if that happens, they're going to call you and say, what happened?
Yeah.
Because people don't give an 8 if they're happy.
No.
Right? Like, a little something piss you off with an 8.
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't disappointed with the bad experience. I mean, I was mostly disappointed that they didn't care.
Yeah.
That I had a bad experience.
Yeah. Look, it takes a lot to care. I think it takes a lot. Like, we're a small company compared to probably that hotel company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're a major brand, but still.
But it takes so much effort, to care. But I think that's what business is all about. Like, we're in business to serve the customer.
Yeah.
Not to serve ourselves.
And then I was sharing with James earlier. So Travis, you're a Denver guy.
Yeah.
Right? He actually flew out here to Scottsdale. We had an event for Whale Club. Paul Sparks and I, we were running Whale Club together at the time. And one of the things I liked about Travis was that he's an actual operator, right? He's not a lender who only does loans. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he brings a different background to the conversation. He'll actually help you underwrite the deal in the way that he would buy it.
Yes.
Not as the way like, hey, I have to protect the bank. Right?
Totally.
It's like,
more
here's
of a partner mindset or
a partner mindset. Really appreciated that. And then we had Santini on the show.
Yeah.
Santini Lancione, for the guys who don't know, about a year ago now. It was one of our most viewed episodes. And one of the things we talked about was how he was running like these big events where like buyers were coming, wholesalers were coming, lenders were coming, right? But like everything you need to run a successful wholesaling operation, right?
Yeah,
you got people bringing you deals, you got people that sell deals too, and you got lenders that are qualifying these buyers, right? And the key to all that is actually Renovo. So talk to me about how you guys came up with a strategy to support wholesalers do more deals.
Hey, my name is Brian. I'm a real estate investor. Ian's sales training has helped me buy more houses at a deeper discount. Most recently, Ian helped me reframe a question which resulted in me buying a house for less money than other offers the seller had on the table. If you're considering sales training, I don't think you can go wrong with Ian's.
If you like what you just heard and would like similar types of success, text CLOSE to 33777 and we'll see if you qualify to join Objection-Proof Selling. We're taking good sales reps and we're making them objection-proof.
Thank you for saying that. So it all goes back to when me and my high school friend Tony were flipping homes and wholesaling properties. The only thing we loved more was throwing parties. And we would throw great parties. And we would invite our clients and our real estate people and our buyers and our realtors and all these people. And we kind of learned that, you know what, if you get people together and you throw a nice event, it's more powerful. It was on brand for us. Like, it was like who we were. We liked getting people together. We loved throwing parties. So when we started Renovo, we kind of started that same thing. And so we started in Chicago and we would start throwing local events. And we would bring together our client, our borrowers, our wholesalers, realtors, city officials, Seriously, like we try to curate an amazing room. If you're a wholesaler, you're bringing gold to the room. You really are. You're bringing the shovel that is needed to, honest to God,
it feeds everyone else.
It feeds
down the
everybody. Line. You're bringing shovels to a construction site that are needed, and you should feel that way. You should really feel that way. And so if you go into a Renovo event, we're doing about an event every other week in a major U.S. city where there's at least 100 people that are there, and they're serious people. I was just in Minnesota 2 weeks ago we had an awesome Renovo event in Minnesota, and it was 100 people in the room, very qualified investors, active developers, active buyers. I mean, there was $1 billion of buying capacity in that room. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was $1 billion in that room of buying capacity.
Yeah.
I don't know a better room as a wholesaler to walk into.
Right.
As long as you can talk. I would say you got to be able to talk, and you got to be able to, build relationships and bring shovels, to that room.
Yeah. So again, that's something unique that I know when I talk to Santini, because again, one of the things on that podcast, we weren't talking about how many deals. I mean, we talked about it, but the highlight wasn't how many deals. It wasn't this much revenue. It's like, here's how much profit I'm making, right? Like his whole thing is like, all I care about is growing my profit. Smart. And for him, what he was saying was the key to growing profit was having a lender partner who will help promote you to more people so that you can do more deals.
It's genius, and it's not that hard, right? All of us lenders want to put money out, right? We're only in business to make loans. So we want to put money out, and developers want to develop, and wholesalers have the goods. So, use us, whether it's Renovo or another lender, use our networks. If I was to become a wholesaler tomorrow in a new city, I would go find the lenders and become buddies with the lenders.
Right. Still waiting for your Phoenix counterpart. Have you guys found one yet?
No, I need your help.
I actually connected a couple of people to James. So I want to hit on some more things. But before we do that, guys, real quick, this episode is brought to you by Beck CFO, the go-to tax and CFO firm for real estate entrepreneurs. If you're making money in real estate and you're not confident you're paying the least amount legally possible in taxes, you need Beck CFO. They specialize in entity structuring, tax strategy, the CFO level support that saves their clients thousands every year. I use them for tax planning, and you should book a free consultation. BeckCFO.com is BECCFO.com. Now, for you guys, if I read this correctly, you're now the second largest originator for residential investor real estate loans in the U.S.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's a remarkable statistic.
Thanks.
So I imagine there's probably a lot of work you had to do culturally with an organization.
Yes.
To make that happen. And particularly, how many people are at the company now?
350.
350. So I think, in this conversation, it brings to mind Tony Hsieh's book, Delivering Happiness.
You got to be kidding.
What?
I was going to bring that up 20 minutes ago. I swear. When you were asking me where this all came from on the customer service side, I was going to bring up Tony Hsieh and the book.
It's one of my favorite books.
Me too.
Yeah. Which again, why we blacklist people.
I love Tony Hsieh. I
never got a chance to meet him.
I did a couple times.
Yeah. Talking about parties.
Totally. Afterward, I'll tell you some actually great, funny Tony Hsieh stories. He's a wonderful guy.
As long as there's nothing crazy here, nothing too crazy, we can talk about.
Well, here's what happened. Listen to this. So I admired what he built a lot, and Daniel, my partner, told me that he wrote a book. I'm like, oh, I got to read it. So I read the book, and this is going to sound funny. At the same time that I'm reading the book, in the morning, I go out my gym in the morning to go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. I look in Chicago, there's a huge bus that's got Tony Hsieh's face on it and says Delivering Happiness. And it was his bus tour. And I'm like, for the book, I'm like, I get to the gym and I'm thinking, wait a second, Tony's probably in the bus. I got to go meet him. Yeah. So I run back and I run up to the bus. Now it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm knocking on the door. And they're like, no, he's in the hotel sleeping. I come back in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I come back in the afternoon, and Tony invites me on the bus, and he was wonderful. We hung out. I told him all about what I was doing. He told me what he was doing. He took me and my wife out that night to a nightclub with all their friends. And actually, we stayed in touch for a while.
Yeah.
So it was just funny that I happened to meet him at the same. Oh, no, let me finish that. So, sorry, there's a better part. I said, can you do me a favor? I said, Daniel, my partner, is the one that gave me your book. He really, would love to meet you. Any way we can surprise him. He's like, oh, yeah. And he's like, actually, as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm meeting Andrew Mason, who was the Groupon CEO.
Okay.
I'm meeting Andrew for drinks at Motel Bar. Why don't you just tell Daniel that you're just going to go to Motel Bar and have a drink with him. Don't tell him why. And then we'll just hang out there. I'm like, amazing. So me and Daniel go to Motel Bar the next day, and we're sitting at a table, and all of a sudden Tony Hsieh comes walking over and sits down with us, and Daniel's like, what in the heck is happening? But his approach to customer service and customer obsession and culture had such a huge impact on or influence on me.
So one of the things, and I was asking like how big the company is, because one of the things, I can't remember if it was Tony or if it was Seth Godin with Tribes, 150 is about the number of people you can have where like you know who that is. You know their face, you walk down the hallway, and you can ask them how they're doing. About 150. Do you feel like you're still there at 350? Because it sounds like you built a great culture.
Yeah, thanks. No.
We're
not there, because there's many times I'm in the elevator in Chicago and we each hit 31, and I look and I'm like, don't know them. I'm like, hi. And they're looking at me and they know me. I'm like, I'm Kevin. It happens in the lunchroom sometimes. I'll go in the lunchroom, and sometimes there'll be like a newer employee, a younger person, and I'll like get something to drink and I'll start talking to them. And it happened like this summer. This young guy is like, so what do you do, Kevin? Here. I'm like, oh, nice. And the whole table's laughing at this. But it's very hard. It is really hard to keep. I think that's right. 100, 150. There's some number that it just gets hard. But it doesn't mean you can't, try. Like one thing we do at Renovo also that is key to our culture that we adopted through COVID. So when COVID hit, everyone went home. And we were like, how do we keep the culture alive? We got people working all over the place. So what we started doing is setting up Camp Renovo. So we rented this little camp site basically in Northwest Michigan. And about 4 times a year, we get a bunch of departments together. And we send them there on retreats. And we do Camp Renovo for 2 days. So a lot of the team now comes into Chicago, gets on a bus, and it's only about an hour bus ride out to this little camp. And we bring in chefs and we hang out, and it's a really cool camp experience. But that's part of the culture. Like you got to spend time together and hang out. And I also think an important part of culture is not only hanging out, it's growth. And I'm not saying growth as a company, but growth as people.
Yeah.
Like I think people want to grow. And at Renovo, we have to find ways to help people grow. Does that make sense? Like,
what does that mean? Like help them grow?
Help them training. Like we have tons of training at Renovo. We hire outside sales trainers. We hire outside customer service specialists to come in and give training. We do a Top Gun event every year where we actually take our top sales team and we go and we have the world's best sales trainers come in and spend 2-3 days doing trainings with us.
Yeah.
So it's really in an effort to constant, never-ending improvement.
Right.
Can you've probably heard that before.
Yeah.
Of helping people grow, because I think that's what makes a culture. People show up to work and they want to do well and grow, and I think that's an important part.
But I mean, talking about 350 people, it's not only salespeople there.
No, it's not. I highlighted sales, but we have to make sure we're doing it on the credit side, on the loan servicing side, operations, everything. Everyone, and it's hard when we're not perfect at it, but we have to be investing in our team.
Is there a person at this size, because again, the commitment to it, where like one person is like the chief culture officer?
We have a chief people officer.
Okay.
And
So is that what they do? Because like a book that I read recently was The Dream Manager, right? And where they hire this one person and all they do is just help everyone in the company dream. Right? Like,
I like that. You got to send me that. Wait, it's a book?
Yeah.
It's called Dream Manager?
Dream Manager.
Oh, I got to get that.
Yeah, but basically like, hey, let me help you develop, like, what is your 5-year goal?
Oh, I love that.
Let me help you get there.
Oh,
right. And then they have a personalized plan for every employee.
I need to get that. No, like that's a great, we would love to do. I would love to see that happen. Like that kind of stuff is what we need to do more of.
Got it. And then let's see what else there was. You got some crazy war stories, I imagine, right? Any fascinating war stories, and like, 'cause the second largest, you're doing $4 billion. Like, there's got to be some like,
what do you mean? Like, what kind of?
I can't
war
believe
story?
this happened. Whether it was a scenario, a person you ran into, or I don't know. I'm just thinking like you've got so much experience. There's got to be like some crazy stories that like.
I mean, I've had borrowers go to jail. I've closed loans in prisons before. I don't know if it's part of what you're saying. I don't
Run-ins. I know you seem to be connected with a lot of big players in the space. There's we've talked about Dan Gilbert before the show, but like I imagine there's all these other guys that seems like you know all the other big bankers.
It's a friendly industry, so I think most of us tend to kind of like each other, and we frenemy kind of thing. We're all competing, but there's a few of us that are really tight. Like, and we share a lot of information. Like, So I don't know if there's any war story about. I mean, look, COVID was a terrible time. There was rough times that all of us have gone through in this business. I don't know if James, am I missing? Is there anything that I turn to James?
All right.
Can I call a friend?
Call a friend.
Can I call?
I was thinking about that one loan in Chicago that went on for like 12 years. That was a good one.
Okay, I got two funny ones now.
All right.
Thank you for that. So one, I made a 1-year construction loan to a friend that was doing a condo project that was only supposed to be a year. We made the loan at the exact same time I had my second daughter, Stella. Stella turned 7 and the loan still wasn't paid off. And that got ugly. Me and
The friend.
that friend have had some trouble. So that didn't go great.
7-year loan.
We're now exited it. We unfortunately had to foreclose and exited the loan ourselves. That was not fun. But years ago, I will tell you, we got involved with some New Jersey condo projects that were so unique because the developer, slick guy. When I met him, I thought for sure he was George Clooney's brother. He looked like George Clooney. He talked like George Clooney. He was like slick, and he was a condo builder in Hoboken, New Jersey, or Jersey City. Sorry. And one deal went fine. Second deal went fine. Then the deal started to have a little problem here and there, running long, fighting with the contractor, bigger fights with the contractors. Contractor liens start showing up on the property. All of a sudden, the mafia gets involved. And I'm not kidding.
I'm thinking like Sopranos.
Oh, this is Sopranos.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, our guy gets like tied up in the mafia. He borrowed some money from some wrong people. Okay?
Oh, I see.
And they placed some liens on the property, and they were not the exact. They did the craziest stuff that I had never seen as a lender before, that I couldn't dream up that people were doing. It took years and years and years of going to court to be able to get the judge to be willing to relinquish some of these liens on the property that we needed. I mean, I was doing conference calls with guys on the phone that I was like, guys, this is really scary. These are. It was pretty interesting.
What were some creative techniques or tactics that you'd never seen before that were the most creative?
So what they did is they were basically trying to figure out a way to not only screw our client, but come after to basically get us to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
So they sold a piece of land to our guy, our borrower, and the consideration, and they closed on it. Okay, they closed the transaction, and the consideration was a profit participation in our property that they recorded. That was the consideration for the land.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's tricky because you go to us trying to foreclose on that document. What is this document? It's a profit interest in this other property it's very ambiguous.
Yeah.
And especially in a place like New Jersey, they'll let that sit in court for years and years. I had never, it's one thing if a disgruntled contractor places a lien on a property.
Right.
It sucks.
There's a procedure.
But there's a procedure for it.
Yeah.
It's one thing if partners are fighting. There's procedures for that. But when the mafia gets involved and does a fake land sale, and it sells you a piece of land, and what he gave as consideration is a profit interest in our property, and that thing was recorded. It just was the most. I was like, oh, we're screwed. Like it's going to take us. And what they wanted, they would call and say, give us $300,000 and we'll release it. It was literally extortion.
It was a shakedown.
It was 100. That piece of paper was worth nothing. Like the sale was fake. It was nothing. It was all fake. But they knew that was a complicated thing that is going to take years. So
someone really smart on their payroll.
I don't know about payroll, but yes, someone smart was making some money
within the organization.
In the organization, right? It was yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Ultimately, after a long time, the judge did release it, but it took a long time.
See, I'd be nervous even like trying to like get that removed.
I'm nervous talking about it, to be honest.
But I knew there had to be some sort of crazy work.
No, there's a lot more like that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. That's funny.
And then the last part I want to touch on is you're building a company to last. You're not, from what I'm hearing, you're not building a company to sell.
Yep.
You're building a company to last.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like the considerations, why this model versus, like right now there's all this stupid money coming in from private equity and this and that.
Yeah.
Why this decision?
What decision? Why build it to why build it to last?
Build it to last versus build it to sell, right? Because I think there's different approaches.
Totally. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. I think it comes down to what me and the rest of the senior team at Renovo want to do every day. All of us love what we do.
Yeah. We're
building something together. We're in business. We're going to work every day. And what else would we do? Like if the company were to sell, first of all, if company was to get sold, the company's worth the people, right? So we have to go along with it. There's no one that's going to just buy the company and say, go off and go sail the ocean or whatever. So that doesn't accomplish anything necessarily, because now we got to work for someone else that's going to tell us how to do things. Maybe right, maybe wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, by the way, that we haven't, the company has raised equity over the years. The company's done a bunch of things financially. It's not like we haven't done things. Does that make sense? So we've done things to monetize the business and capitalize and recapitalize the company.
Right. But
look, it's just been our position that the team in place is the best team to run the company, and that I'm 48. I'm the oldest person on the senior team by about, I don't know, at least 5 years, maybe 4, 5, 6 years, something like that.
It's a young team.
So, when we look around, we're like, we have this, really awesome, talented, excited, passionate group of people that are waking up every single day, moving forward together. What else are we going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you're obviously very passionate about lending, right? I mean,
too much, right?
You
too much. It's an addiction.
No, it's fine, right? Because like you did it before, you did some other stuff, but your heart came back to lending.
Yeah.
Why lending versus anything else? Because we were talking in the beginning, like the grass is always greener. Why do you love lending?
I don't know that it's hard to answer because I don't think one's better than the other. I think it's all.
Yeah, it's not one's better than the other, but there's one you're more passionate about.
Well, if I was to summarize it, I would say this: when my parents got divorced when I was young, and money was a stressful topic during that period, like very stressful topic, a lot during my childhood, and I did feel like I always wanted to learn about money. As a little kid, I didn't like that stress, and I was like, I want to learn about money. Like I was selling ice to my neighbors when I was 5 years old, trying to make money. Like anything I could do to like make money and learn how to not have stress about money was very important to me. So I think getting involved in my dad's loan company as a kid, part of it was I want to learn about money. And I really do believe the more you can learn, lending is a way to learn about money, right?
Yes.
Like there's a real learning to money if you're lending it and dealing with it and all that stuff. So I think it just became kind of a passion through that process. I didn't even realize it until I didn't realize it until I was older that I think that was a big part of it, of wanting to learn how money worked, and lending was like a vehicle for that. I think that was a big piece. Number two, I think whether I like it or not, it's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
So I think, why would I throw away all this, 30 years now or whatever, 25, 30 years of doing this?
Well, it's interesting you talking about like the pursuit and learning about money, like because I remember when I read Delivering Happiness, I actually made everyone in the company read it as well. Nice. And my executive assistant at the time, she was reading. She was like, "This is your story, right? Like this hustle, selling things, trying to make money when you're 8, right?
Yep.
And looking back later on, I was like, well, where did that come from? It's mom and dad fighting about money.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. So like this is the same thing. Like like why am I obsessed with money? Or I'm not as obsessed today. My kids will argue differently, but like for it, it's just a scorecard, right?
Yeah.
It's just like how well am I doing? That's just one way to measure it.
Yeah.
But the hustle, I gotta make a buck while I'm selling candy in 3rd grade.
Yes.
I think it comes from like mom and dad fighting about money growing up.
Same here.
Yeah. So I want you to think about some last thoughts you want to leave all the listeners with. Guys, if you get value from this episode, please make sure you subscribe. That way we can reach more people, create more millionaires, really serve our mission. And if you guys, share your biggest takeaway, comment below. We review every single one, we respond to them. So it really help us out if you could share your biggest takeaways. What are some last words you'd like to leave all the listeners with?
I think for those that are focused on wholesaling and building wholesale businesses, if you are not connected to your local lender or 3 or 4 local or every local lender, you're kind of missing out.
Yeah.
So I think I'm glad that became a hot topic in this episode, because to me, it's a no-brainer. As a lender, we're dying for people to call us and tell us, hey, we have properties we want to sell. Come on, let's go. So I think there's unbelievable partnerships that could be had between a lender and a wholesaler.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a relationship that's definitely not explored and talked about enough.
No.
And the reason why I say that even more so, not on top of what Renovo does, but like there's no one that knows who has money better than the lender, right?
Yes.
You've got their social, their date of birth.
Yes.
You're pulling.
Oh, no, that's a good point. Look, what happened, let me touch on that, because recently, you're exactly right. There was a wholesaler wholesaling a property in Florida. Let me think about this. The buyer of the property happened to be in Ohio, and somehow the buyer in Florida, one of them met me at one of our events, and the buyer was saying that they're a Renovo client. So the seller wanted to know, does this person really have money or not? Because they had to make a decision whether to accept this offer or someone else's offer. So I get a text one night in the middle of the night from someone I barely know, but hey, can you double check for me if this person's qualified? It's like, yeah. So I made a couple phone calls and whatever, and I got back. I'm like, yeah. So you're exactly right. Use partner with the lender. Yeah. Why not? There's no downside, only upside from that. Yeah. They should definitely go all in on the lenders.
Yeah, they know more about people's finances than anybody else.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. So if someone wants to connect with you, your organization, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, RenovoFinancial.com is our web address. My email is kevin@renovofinancial.com. And love to talk to your team.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for
coming
on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Steve Train. Jump on the Steve Train. Disruptors.